Good morning again, everyone. Welcome to the LeverX webinar series, a free educational service offered to SAP customers to inform and demonstrate SAP functionality and industry best practices to improve your business performance. Our webinar today is entitled SAP Innovations for Streamlined New Product Introductions. In this webinar, jointly sponsored by SAP and LeverX, you will get an overview of SAP's latest innovations supporting streamlined material master data creation in new product introductions, that is SAP Master Data Governance for Material 6.1. The overview will be followed by a demonstration highlighting some of the key capabilities of this solution. My name is Ralph Davis, Marketing Manager at LeverX, and I will be the moderator for today's webinar. Before we begin our topic, let me briefly introduce you to LeverX. LeverX helps companies increase business value by leveraging existing investments in SAP solutions.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much, everybody, for attending today. This presentation, as was just noted, will be sent out to you for review later. There are a lot of slides that we're going to go through today. Some of them I will skim over very quickly in the interest of the short amount of time that we have. And I decided to do that in a way that hopefully, given the context of the entire presentation, when you go back and review the material, some of those slides will make more sense to you and will really add to your understanding of the intention of the presentation. Excuse me. So firstly, anything forward noted in functionality from this presentation, a standard disclaimer is not guaranteed from SAP, and so you should not make any purchasing decisions based on any forward-looking statements. I don't believe I'm going to make any of those, but if I do, this disclaimer would cover that. Initially, I just want to quickly talk about the difference between SAP's MDG product and SAP's NetWeaver MDM product, which may cause some of you some concern. You may have heard of NetWeaver MDM and be wondering what the difference is, or is MDG a replacement for that, or is it the same tool modeled in a different way, and so forth. A brief discussion about the history of these tools. NetWeaver MDM was SAP's master data product of choice several years ago. It was acquired from another company and was built out with additional capabilities and components. And it was sold as our master data tool of choice to address master data consolidation, master data harmonization, and central master data creation scenarios. What was shown by some customer feedback and by looking at the tool is that it did a fine job in the areas of consolidation and harmonization, but came up a little bit short perhaps, and customers were wanting different functionalities and a different sort of platform and infrastructure for that central creation type of approach to master data. So if we look at this model, it is a little bit simplistic, but it kind of drives home the point in a general fashion, in so much as there are a couple of different ways that you can view master data management, master data governance type scenarios in an organization. Firstly, to the bottom of the screen, you see a consolidation approach. So the idea for this would be that you might have multiple systems within your landscape or external sources, whatever it might be, where you pull data in from multiple places and decide to consolidate that in a hub. That type of an approach is a consolidation master data management approach, where you're not centrally controlling the creation of your data. You're creating your data in multiple places or pulling your data from multiple sources, but having a consolidation hub where that data is used, maybe as a reporting hub, maybe as an external facing product catalog in some way. These are some of the use cases that have been driven by this, and our customers are using in that way. Most customers, however, in the master data governance, master data management space, are looking for some sort of central creation. They recognize the need to have a piece of master data centrally created in one system under a set of governance rules that are centrally applied, and then that data would then be subsequently distributed, perhaps further enriched, but distributed throughout your landscape, but pushed out from a central point. That model, like I said, is the one that most of our customers are wanting, and so the need to address that scenario was taken very seriously by SAP, and that led to the creation of the SAP Master Data Governance tool. So you should consider the differentiation between NetWeaver MDM from a positioning perspective and MDG from a positioning perspective is really around the underlying business scenario that it's trying to accommodate. There are also some architectural differences that we'll talk about with regards to MDG, the ERP platform, ECC platform that MDG runs on top of. However, that's really the fast overview for the differences between NetWeaver MDM and MDG and what you should be considering for your customers. So central creation, central governance, central control of master data, SAP's MDG tool is the tool for that business scenario. So looking at MDG from an architectural perspective and what it does and how it will achieve this aim, MDG, the first sentence you see, the centrally governed master data on top of the SAP Business Suite. So I mentioned before central creation, that's what's being referred to there. From an architectural perspective, MDG runs on top of an ECC environment. So that can be a separate MDG ERP ECC hub that would house your MDG implementation that would then service all of your transactional systems in your landscape, both SAP and non-SAP, ERP and Business Suite. Or potentially some customers also have what's called co-deployed MDG, installed that on top of an existing ECC system in their landscape that creates a governance layer through the activation of business functions on that ECC system, and that's a perfectly acceptable architecture as well.